Hello and welcome back to Going Live with Global Learning. I'm Tia and today I'm here with Addy.
Hi.
Hi Addy. So feel free to let the viewers get to know you a little bit. Where are you from? What are you studying?
I am from Norwalk, Iowa, so it's just south of Des Moines. I'm studying interior design and interior architecture in the program here at Kirkwood. And this is my second year going into it.
Amazing. Awesome. And you also did a study abroad trip as well this past summer, actually, in, was it South Africa?
South Africa and Zimbabwe.
Design. Okay. Yeah. And that was for your program interior design?
Yes.
Okay. First off, what got you interested in studying abroad? And then also, because it's also for your program too. So
Right.
what was that whole process?
Well, I've always wanted to travel a lot. When I was younger, I wanted it to be my job, but there's some difficulties that come with that. So when I heard about the program here at Kirkwood for the interior design, interior architecture, and that they have these incredible study abroads, I knew I had to come here. So that was a very pivotal factor.
You came to Kirkwood because you knew we had study abroad?
Yeah, and
Really?
for the interior design.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I did not know that. That is so cool. How'd you hear about study abroad before you were at Kirkwood?
When we did a tour, the lady that we met with, she was very talkative about the study abroads.
Wow.
And according to my dad, my eyes just lit up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing because, you said you wanted to travel and then you're in the interior design, program,
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so you went to South Africa this past summer.
Yeah.
What was, the purpose of the trip? So what did you guys do there?
So I'd say the purpose of the trip was to see how location and different weather and climate impact the design and their design choices. So different things that their structures and houses are made out of. And when we go a little bit north of Africa, see how different it changes from when we were in South Africa.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I think that would be the most in the design takeaway from it. We did a lot of tours where we got to see how different resorts and different hotels and just places to stay did it. But then we also got to see how just normal people that were going about their daily lives, how they went about their homes and their structures.
Yeah. Do you feel like learning those things, from a whole other culture's perspective,
Right.
South Africa and Zimbabwe, do you feel like for your own career in this field, do you feel like it really opened your mind to a lot of new ways of how that
Oh,
works?
for sure. Yeah. Whenever I'm because I draw a lot for that. So whenever I'm drawing now, I always think back to things, and I still go through the pictures all the time, and they pop up in the little spotlight area, and I'm just in awe of the things that I saw there. It's different, but it's also very similar.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. In what ways is it different? Did you have a culture shock going there?
Oh, yeah, for sure, culture shock.
Really?
We're from the Midwest.
Right.
So we have that kind of, how people are in the Midwest, where they're always, I don't know how to describe it. It's just the small town, people know each other, people help each other, that kind of thing, a lot up in the Midwest. And when we went to South Africa, they were even more kind and
Really?
nice. Yeah.
Wow.
They were very hospitable.
Aw.
So even coming from somewhere that we already have a lot of that, going somewhere else where it just feels so much more genuine is it was a big shock. Yeah.
Wow, really? So even like when you were like in like the markets and stuff, like people were just so friendly.
Yeah.
Really?
They were so interested to learn about us.
Yeah. What kind of questions did they ask you?
Well, they asked us where we're from. When we told them Iowa, I'm not sure if they knew exactly where we are.
Yeah.
So I just started saying we're just from right in the middle of the U.S. So they asked that. They asked what we were doing, and like when we told them we were there on like a study abroad for school, they asked us what we were doing in school, and we told them we're designers, and we just had that kind of friendly little chat.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And like speaking of like some of the markets and stuff, you brought some stuff from your program. Would you mind sharing like what you brought?
So since we were talking about markets, this I got from a market in Zimbabwe. So it was more of like a village market. So it wasn't commercialized. It was just people who made stuff selling their things
that they made.
Outside of their homes.
Wow.
And
it's beautiful.
Stone elephant.
They made this?
Yeah. They make everything by hand.
Oh my goodness, can I take a look?
Yeah, of course.
Wow, see the viewers here if we can see it. I'm going to put it to my camera here so you can see. Let me see. Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cute. Oh my goodness. Do you know what it's made of?
I don't know exactly what it's made of, but it was just so cool because they are so creative, and they don't use like stuff that they don't have glue guns in that village. So that's how I make a lot of things here. But they use natural resources that they have.
Amazing.
So I thought that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then what else did you bring?
This is from a little marketplace in South Africa.
It's pretty. So pretty.
Right outside of VA waterfront. And it's just, people were wearing a lot of scarves there.
Really?
And I didn't have one, so I wanted to get one. And there was a very nice lady. She helped me pick them out, and she was so sweet. So.
Oh, that's so lovely. Oh, and they make these too? They make.
Yes.
That's amazing. I don't even know how they do that. It's awesome. Oh, and so they wear scarves a lot there too.
Yeah, I saw a lot of like Native people wearing scarves.
Really?
Yeah. It was very popular.
Interesting.
Which I suppose is understandable because there's a lot of dust, so keep it out of
Do they
your
wear
hair.
it like in the front, like around their face, on their head, or how do they? On their neck, or
where I got it, it would have been more around their neck. But like as we went further south, it got a little bit more just to protect your hair.
Dust in your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a lot of dust.
Yeah.
It was all over our shoes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. A lot of walking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like a favorite like memory when you were there? Something you guys did?
Oh.
Or a couple.
Yeah.
If you have too many, you can do like a couple.
Well, I can do one from South Africa and one from Zimbabwe.
Awesome.
So in South Africa, this is actually another thing. We went to Kwatu. So this is it's almost like when you'd go to living history farms, when you'd go to a historical place like that and you'd go to learn about it. They had these different areas. One of them was a huge garden that they had. It was just fields of plants that they tended to. And this is a book of the different plants that they have and a description for all of them.
Oh, wow.
And I just thought that was cool, so I got that.
That's super cool.
But that place was also so interesting because we got to learn about the Sand people. And they are one of the oldest tribes that are still, like, living outside of, like, society. And they're still doing things how they did them, like, I don't know how many years ago. And it was so cool to learn about that. I love history, so I love learning about like the history of different cultures, and that was just, it was amazing to me because there were like, we learned about how there were some people that were like living like how the tribes did, but then they more integrated into society more, and how that affected them and how they grew from that and everything. How it was difficult, but also how it was a interesting process. And then we actually got to see like videos. They had this like movie room of the Sand People that was recorded a few days prior, and they were just walking around, and we got to see the outside of their homes, and they were, one of the videos, they were cooking a meal, and there were little kids running around, and it was so adorable, and it was just so cool to see, because I don't know anywhere else that I would have ever seen something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. And the last thing I got from there, I also got this from Kwatu, but it's this homemade necklace. And in South Africa, we're very close to the ocean. So from where we were at the top of the hill in the field, we could see the ocean. So you could walk there. I think he said it was like 30-minute walk.
Oh, wow. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. So this is made out of glass, seashells, and ostrich shell.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And they showed us how they would make the beads for the out of the ostrich shell.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. It was really cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Aw.
But that was definitely a very impactful moment for me in South Africa, because it was just, it's so cool to me.
Yeah. And then what about in Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe, I have to say the village the school that we went to. It was, the village was interesting in itself because we were able to see how people that didn't have most of the things that we have lived.
Wow.
They made their homes out of like a mixture of dirt and mud, and it was like, it was what you would think of when you thought of Africa. And it was very different from South Africa and that regard, because in South Africa we were in Cape Town, and that's very populated. There's a lot going on there. It's a big city. And then it was just so interesting to see the contrast, because these people, they were like, it was bittersweet almost too, because I had a notebook that I brought, and one of the vendors that was like selling stuff, like where I got the elephant, he was willing to trade something that he made for the notebook for his little sister for school.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm sorry, this is my only one. But I, like, it was, like, that's such, like, it's so eye-opening, because, like, something that we take for granted, like a notebook, is something so important to them.
Right, really puts into perspective. Like, yeah,
exactly. And we just saw that all throughout the village, and there were little kids coming up to us and saying hi, and there was a lady that let us into her home area, and she let us walk around and see inside, and it was really cool. And it was so hot there that day, but inside of the house, it was so, like, it was cold because of how they structured everything. So that was cool to see as well, and how, like, you don't need, like, fancy insulation, and you can use more natural resources when building, and that's more of the design aspect of it, but it was just, I grew a lot from that part. And then the kids, we donated quite a bit of stuff. I think the thing they were most excited for was a printer.
Oh, wow.
So that the kids could take tests. Like, they didn't have to, like, write the question down and then answer the question. They could just have the printed test paper. And the teachers were happy about that. The kids were like, oh, no, now we got to take more tests.
Oh.
We were like, sorry.
Oh.
But they got books and they got paper and pencils. And I think we even got them a oven or a stove for their kitchen. And then in the afternoon, we got to play outside with them all afternoon. And they showed us what games they like to play, and they loved taking pictures on our phones.
Oh, really?
I think all 17 of us, the girls and the students, we all have so many pictures on our phones because the kids just love taking pictures on the phones.
Wow.
Yeah, they were so sweet, and they were so nice and welcoming, and they were so interested to learn about us too. And it was just so cool.
Yeah, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
You know, for any student who's like interested in studying abroad or going on the interior design program, what would you say to a student who's thinking about it or on the fence?
I would say I'm more of a just why not kind of person. So, I mean, I never thought that I would be going to South Africa for a study abroad, especially for interior design. I thought it would be more like the Europe part of the world, or maybe even like Japan or some places. Like, I don't know. I never thought that I would be going to South Africa, but I can't imagine not going now after I've been there. It's if anyone just likes learning, or they just need something new to like freshen their perspective of anything, I would just go. It's so worth it.
Yeah.
Everything is so worth it. And is the South Africa one like notorious for being the most expensive one? Yeah, I thought as much. But
It's worth it.
It's worth every penny.
Really?
I can't imagine not going. I want to go again.
Again this year? You're going again this year?
I am going on study abroad for this next summer. That one's to Italy, but it's such an amazing experience, and I think it's so important for people to learn about other cultures so that they are more open-minded. So I think anyone should just go.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Addy, for coming on this podcast and sharing your experience. I learned a lot, and I hope everyone, you guys took something out of it too. And if you guys have any questions at all about study abroad, feel free to check out our podcast on YouTube, Going Live with Global Learning, or stop by our Global Learning office in Iowa Hall on the second floor. Thank you, everyone. Bye.